Hi, I'm Tanya representing the Robinson Lloyd Resiliency Group. We help companies to get an edge in three core ways. Firstly, we provide psychometric assessments that help our clients to understand how to help their students. We provide these services primarily to organizations that work with children and youth. Secondly, we use our data to customize program solutions or interventions that best meet the needs of our clients. And finally, we use our insights gain to help form meaningful connections or foster meaningful connections between our clients and all stakeholders. Today, I have the distinct honor of sharing our culminating speeches that were presented by students of the University Heights Charter School. First, you'd be hearing from their CEO, Dr. Christy Oliver. Just a bit of background about the Power Resilient Stars public speaking and self-awareness program. This evolved quite naturally from students sharing about their anxiety levels and, of course, their need to share how or express how they feel with more confidence, with more passion. And I am a distinguished Toastmaster of, for about 10 years or so. And I decided to use those skills to help them gain their skills in public speaking. Now, just a bit of background. Our students from University Heights Charter School will be addressing themes about the Robb Elementary School shooting in Uvalde, Texas. They would also be sharing their thoughts on the closure of UHCS, as well as themes concerning their life, inclusion and coming from different cultures. Really amazing speeches lined up. Now let's just stop for a second to think about the Robb Elementary School shooting in Uvalde, Texas. According to the Washington Post, more than 311,000 students have experienced gun violence at school since Columbine. That's a big number, 311,000 students. We would like to, it seems that there's an attempt to brand persons living with mental health disorders as the perpetrators of these killings. But according to research, persons with serious mental health disorders were responsible for 10% of all violent crimes, homicides in the United States. For mass killings, they're responsible for 33%. The links for this data would be provided below. As I shared, our students learned how to develop their voice. They went through about 6 weeks of coaching on how to present a public speaking speech. They viewed topics that are current. And without further ado, we are going to look at the first message from the CEO of University Heights Charter School, Dr. Christy Oliver, followed by speeches from Christopher Gonzalez, who'd be sharing about his superpowers. That's a term that means characteristics or strengths that we teach in the Resilient Stars program. We'd also be hearing from Londyn Davis, who shares and encourages us to take the jump, take the leap of faith, believe in ourselves. We'd also hear from Noah White, who was moved to write a speech after losing her great-grandmother, who lived to be 100 years old. We then hear from Marianis Torres, who spoke about the crime situation, particularly the mass shootings that have occurred recently here in the United States. We'll also be hearing from Abraham Omo Ihauser, who shares about work ethic, success being 25% purposeful, driven, and 85% work ethic. And we are going to hear from Sarah Crutcher, who shared Who Am I? Her views on being a Black student of University Heights Charter School, a Black American, as well as the need to feel safe. And finally, we would be hearing from Osirami McCahan, Oya Kilomin, who would be sharing her desire to fit in. I thank you, and I ask you to please share this video widely, share all of our videos with our speeches, because they're going to impact lives in a very, very powerful way. These children really moved the audience with their speeches. Very, very amazing, and very proud of each and every one of them. Thank you. Okay. So Londyn Davis, the biggest lesson of my life. The biggest lesson of my life, Londyn Davis. Please feel free to start, Londyn. You may unmute.
Just jump, Londyn. I will catch you, said my mom with her bright and encouraging eyes to me. Dear special guests, parents, and fellow contestants, today I want to inspire you with the biggest lesson of my life. One time I was at the park. My mom and I were walking, and I wanted to do a photo shoot on top of this ledge. The ledge was slippery and tall with plants and trees surrounding it. I thought it was a good place to take a picture. When I was done posing and catching my good side, the only way down was to jump down. My fear of heights made me scared, but my mom said, just jump, I will catch you. After a few seconds of my mom encouraging me, I did the unthinkable. I jumped. But guess what? The jump wasn't that bad. All that overthinking wasn't really worth it. I'm really proud I overcame one of my fears. Although I'm still scared of heights, I'm glad I jumped. That day taught me 3 important lessons. 1, never give up. 2, don't take no for an answer. And 3, believe in yourself. That day, I learned the importance of not giving up because I had to make the jump. How else was I going to get down from there? If I kept doubting myself, I may have still been up there to today. Secondly, I had to overcome my own thoughts telling me things like, you'll fall, Londyn. What if mom doesn't catch you, Londyn? I decided to say no to those thoughts. Have you ever had a bunch of negative thoughts telling you that you couldn't do something you really wanted to do? Finally, believe in yourself. You can do anything you put your mind to doing. That day, I put my mind into jumping because my mom was cheering me on. Her belief in me helped me to believe in myself too. I feel like everyone should do what they're afraid of at least once to get the experience. You don't know what you're capable of until you try something new. I'm afraid of heights, but I'm glad I challenged myself. That day was so fun, and I will never forget the life lesson. That's why I wrote the speech. Remember, you too could choose to never give up, don't take no for an answer, and believe in yourself. I challenge you to be brave because you can accomplish